So here, let me in the last class what we had discussion. We had a use of the data policy, sorry, UI policies, and we just created a child table for the same thing. So today we will check what is how we can utilize the child table and other stuff. So I'm just opening our page work order, work order. So here the work order, if I see work order and the work order form, there are few other forms also visible like work order task was there. So here what I am going to do is I'm just going to create a new task. So name for testing. Here the assignment group is mandatory and assigned to is optional here. So now what I need to do is so I want to this assignment group is mandatory on the work order task and also whatever see I want to this assignment group is mandatory on this one. So if I want to book a mandatory, what we will do is we just go to the right click on the form, go to the configure dictionary. From here we will do it. So let me just we'll just waiting. So if you want to make a field mandatory, what we will do is we just go here. We just go here, right click on the mandatory and update it. Now, what happened? This assignment group is mandatory, which is very good. And if I open this one here, I want it's optional on the work order. That means what happened? We have created a multiple tables. So the work order, and work order task has extended from the table called work order task. Work order. Work order task has extended from the table work order. So now what we have to do is so now what we have to do is so I just want to this assignment group is optional on this one. That means on this form work order form I want to this is a optional and this is a mandatory on this one on this one. So if I want to make optional, just right click and configure. If you want to make optional, what we will do? See here, we will just go to the mandatory and update it. So now what happened if you make a mandatory is false, here it is false, and here it's also become a false. Now so in this work order I want to this field is mandatory, sorry I want to this field is optional, and work order task which is a child table of the work order so should be mandatory. How we can achieve this one? So if you want to achieve this one in the service now, we have an option called dictionary override. So whatever right click on the form and just go to the configure dictionary. Here, whatever we are seeing, these are all values we will call as a dictionary entries. Like here, the reference and read only mandatory display, all other thing, whatever it was a dictionary entries, dictionary entries. So you want to override it in the child table. So if you want to override, we have a related list here called here. So this is the dictionary entry. So dictionary entry is nothing but dictionary override is nothing but this is the one of the most common asked interview question. Interview may ask what is a dictionary override, what is the advantage when you use in the service now, or else you will say, interview may ask. So in the service now, what we have to do is in the service now what we have to do is so so they will ask in the child table I want to make this some fields mandatory read only and some fields sorry the piece in the parent table I want to make field mandatory and some fields it's not optional. So here if you want to reference qualifier, so if you want to change the reference value you can use it. If you want to override the different value you can do it, and attribute you can do it. If you want any default value we can do it, and override if you are written any calculation you can do it if you want. So right now our value was override is mandatory and override I'm just making as a mandatory as a true, and I'm just going to submit this one. Now what happened, by using the dictionary override and the work order task table I made it as a true. Now let's see, right now it was optional. Right now it was optional, and see here the assignment group here it was a mandatory, and here the assignment group is not mandatory. Why? Because since for using the dictionary override we made this field as a mandatory for the same thing. So this is the basic scenario how we can. And also this, one minute, okay, this is on the work order, that's okay. So this is the thing how we can apply the dictionary override. And also for example if you want to make this field mandate, for example I want to this assign to is a, for example I'm just making this is not a best practice, but I just want to this since we have a field, okay, we will add a one more field. What is that field? Okay, what we can see is this application I'm just adding in the work order form. So I'm just going to configure form layout. So application I'm adding, so name application. Here this application field has taken from the option from the parent table. Now once what happened, I just want to, for example, if you save this, I want to make this field, oh my god, assignment is mandatory. So okay, okay, so I want to this field is read only for the one, and I want to make this application field is read only on the work order form. So if you want to make it again, just go to the right click, configure dictionary, configure dictionary. Here we can just go to the dictionary override. Dictionary override is nothing, override is nothing but we are overriding the dictionary entries. Just go here, and also here I'm just writing, and here we're making override read only. If I am going override read only, just mark it as a true. That means if you give override whatever the value it was game there where, it will override by here. For example if you made a mandatory there, if you want to unmandatory we can mandate unmandatory here. So override read only and submit. So if I open this one, see, let's go to the mandatory for the same thing here. Yeah, you can see it, right? And also here For this assignment group, we don't have any restriction for the same. So for the assignment group, you don't have any restriction. So what we will do is I want to show what are the groups is active, and for example, if I am going to here, uh, 1 minute, uh, active is true. For example, if I make a active is true, only groups it was also 48. Okay, and type I'm just making a few types. I'm just for our understanding. Type contains multiple. For example, okay. So 1 minute. I'm just going to the groups. So we'll add a field called type. I'm sorry. So you're just adding it in type. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type is I'm just selecting ITL for example. So here what I'm going to write the condition is first step active is true. So here I'm just making type contains. I'm just going to search here. Type contains ITAL. So if I go here, how many it was? So it's just only few records. So I was just want to say this one. If you want to just copy this query here. So right click on it, just copy this query. So I want to show this one in the here in the sense what I can say in the work order assignment group. So when I open this one from the parent, it was showing as a completely one. If you want to show this one, I just want to click on right click, configure dictionary. Again, go to the assignment group and go to the configure dictionary. And here, just open this worker dictionary override. So again, open the dictionary override. Here we have an option called override reference qualifier. Just go to the reference qualifier and what are the text you have copied it one, just save this one. What are the query you have written there, you just copy that query and paste it here. And right now and try to save this record and check it what happens here. So I'm just going to again opening this work order. That means here what I have is whatever group is ITIL. So see, it will show the what are the groups which are belonging to the ITL. So from this is the advantage of the dictionary override. From the dictionary override, what we can do, we can override attribute and we can override a dependent value. We can override a default value. So we can override a calculation, we can override a mandatory, we can override a read only and display value. So that means this will be helpful to the user. So the interviewer may ask, I have a field on the child table, in the parent I want to mandatory and in the child I don't want to mandatory. So that means at the time we can use the dictionary word. What is the main advantage? For example, in the parent table has a for example, if a parent table has a multiple child tables, so and also it was to become a mandatory and read only are some field values as to applicable in the particular one table only. So at the time dictionary override will may have very useful to the user for this. This is the basic concept of dictionary override. And anyone has any questions till now what we had discussion before going to the next step? It's okay, I'm treating as you guys understood. Thank you. And next thing, what we had a discussion here, I'm just going to writing a two more. I'm just going to creating a new fields here. So here I'm just going to adding a new fields like I'm just going to the table impact and urgency and priority. So I'm just for so I'm just creating impact. Impact. I'm just going to submit. So if you click on submit, what happened? It will go to the advertisement. What is the previous page? So I don't do impact and so here I'm just creating a three choices for this impact. So what we can write it choices. So I'm just if you want you can directly we can write it or else you can just go to the here. So I'm just making high, low, sorry for high. The sequence is 100 as you know. High, medium, sequence is 200, medium, low. So what happened? We just created three choices with the field, and now I'm just going to submit. And again, I'm just this is the one. So work order, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a one more field called urgency with the same choices. So I will tell you what is the advantage of this one. Urgency. So this we already know this one. How we can create a choice field and all the choices to it. So for just our understanding, we just showing this one. So I'm just quickly I'm just doing. We So urgency, I'm just getting here. So this also high, 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 medium, medium. So what happened? We just created a few tables, few fields here, and I'm just going to reload. So might be okay. Then I'm sorry.